And there you are, man, rolling on in your own big mama, man, trying to have a personal life out there on the highways of life, trucking them interstate highways and them back roads too, all across the US of A and into Canada, down into Mexico in a while. Oh, darling, what a fair patch of driving you've been doing. Out there chasing that magic dream. Where will it start? Where will I be? I'm looking for it, don't you see? Ever since I first started out on this little journey we called life. Born with that love alive inside of this sweet little heart. And polluted with a whole lot of the constructs of this matrix early on. Ooh, so it'd take me some time to catch on. Yet born with magic charm, man. Born with love that just was irrefutable, irresistible. Except for when I put out the light, my own little self. Of course, you can't put out the light, man. Nobody can. You see, some of us think we can. Think is what the key word is there, because that's just a thought, a mere suggestion of what maybe we are empowered to be. See, we're not so destructive as it might seem. The war doesn't really exist. It's an illusion, a construct of the Matrix, babies, and you know that too as you're out there trucking down the highways of life, chasing that dream you were born with. Now, you may not have been a literal trucker, but you've been a trucker all along, one way or the other. Covering the distance, in other words, to deliver the goods. Because that heart's been alive inside of you, the dream that it's kept all that time. You knew it. From the time you were tiny, this could really unwind this time. This could really happen this time. This time we could really get it in kind of a divine sort of way. A paradisical, wouldn't you say? Or paradisical, as some would say. I like dies because it ain't days, man. Ride, Captain, ride on your mystery ship. The mystery ship of your love. Your dream alive inside of yourself. An earth that's more alive than anything we've ever seen before. Boy, we've seen some sights in our trucking days. My gosh. Though we were born in some of the most spectacular scenery there could ever be. And right next door to even more, all across the western part of this turtle island, let me tell you. And that's where my journeys first began, chasing that dream. As a young thing, 5 years old. And here's this little guy with his thumb out saying, I'm getting the hell out of here, man. It played too restricted for me. Got to find something else. I've got to be better elsewhere, man. That didn't work, but he gave it a shot. But pretty soon, got a few more years on him. Ooh, he began a journey and find, and search and know that there were lots of different folk out there with lots of different stories. I bet one thing he did see, and most of the people he ran into, is the commonality of that dream. It was coming to life back in those childhood days, just much in the way it is now, only far more powerful in the and how of this moment of now, of course. For in the reminiscent is the beginning, the remembrance of what we're here for, baby. To season ourselves up, to test our heart, our ability to be to the extreme. To put ourselves through the most undivine of situations in order to unwind the illusion of the evil nature and the evil ways, which, again, really don't exist. It's a creation of our own hell. You want hell, you got it right here. You want paradise, you got it right here too. You don't have to go any further. And in fact, one seasons up the other, and when they coexist, well, there you are, back to that imagined place again. No heaven, no hell. Just paradise, man. And you shoot those dice, and it's an exciting little crap game. The crap game of love as we dissolve down all the crap we've been through to the reality of right now. See, traveling around carrying that dream and sharing it with others wherever you might be, at least when the vibe was right, shoot. Babies, you helped a lot of folks take flight. You didn't even know it. You were just in the flow of it, looking for what was in it for you. Selfish little twit. Yeah, well, sometimes, like I say, the tendency in the US of A has been to be really self-absorbed. And so, babies, it becomes, especially when you're out there driving by yourself on that lonely old highway of love, right? Man, it becomes a real personal experience, doesn't it? And sometimes you feel like you're taking yourselves too seriously, so you try to dissolve it away, be something different, for a while. You don't want to get too big for your britches, yet it keeps coming back to you again and again. The great nature of the person that inhabits the dream that you carry. Because that person's hidden inside of that dream, too. That's the person that can let it out. You got to find them. And that's why you've been out there running around, looking everywhere else for it. See, I've often wondered why it is that, men and women were so compelled by, especially male, over-exaggerated sexuality, lust like you wouldn't believe, man. You see a lot of it out there on the highway. And you live in it, too, because it helps you get through. It's kind of for you, it's a light buzz. It's just a little thrill. Maybe somebody will come by and flash you once in a while. Big deal. But it's fun. It keeps it going, keeps you interested in living, keeps you chasing that dream that you inhabit inside. So it's not bad to experience it in kind of a lustful sort of way, but you rise above it, you see the loving aspect of it, and you begin to discharge that nature from yourself in the process, you see. We have been made to feel so disconnected here. Especially out there running down the highway all alone, yet we're surrounded by angels and filled with them too, man. We're so loved in this reality. That's what gets us through any highway, any life. Hell, I'll sit there in L.A. and watch as the earthquakes knocked over. And those bridges that I hate crossing now, man, they're like 600-800 feet in the air, Screw that, man. I've seen them things tumble down like little matchsticks, man. Nothing. You go through a lot out there traveling around this highway, and you find yourself constantly in service to others. A lot of haphazard accidents happen, and sometimes you're the first one there. You got to get out and help, baby. And you do. And you pull others through just because you're there, and you show that you care, and others do too. That's the amazing aspect of the highway, that there still is others that will pull you out no matter how bad it gets, see. And in real life, it's like that too, man. You just live your life and stay as strong and as alert as you can. And it's communicative too, man. It's really important to stay in touch with others around you, We all like our quiet times too, of course, but that's when you get most in touch with others around you. When you're sitting still there alongside the highway in the rest area, and you got this beautiful bunk with this big old queen-size bed back there right next to your deluxe stereo, etc., man. I mean, this truck is set up, man. You got an apartment on wheels. They call them condos, and they are, man. They're condominiums, man. Little apartments on wheels, man, designed to help you have a more comfortable life. Of course, if you're a real trucker, you don't spend but 2 hours a day back there. But maybe this is those 2, and you're taking your little break, man. And there as you're sitting still, it all catches up to you. That's why you have to slow down every now and then, park it, take a little break. Whether you're a Superman and don't need no sleep or not, man, you still got to do it. You got to assimilate the experience you've been traveling through. Because it helps you fulfill the presence of that dream. Helps you recover the person that can. See, the personality we adapt here is not our person. We put that person away when we're children, and we start to adapt into this reality and develop a personality around it, which quite frankly is superficial. We don't see it that way. We live it as if that's us. And some of us cling to it as if that's all there is. But it's a completely separated thing, in a sense, from your own true person, your own reality, which existed there in the baby child. And, sometimes gets battered away. I mean, there are some harsh experiences here, I tell you. But see, our heart's in recovery, dear. We don't have to hang out there no more in that sadness, that pain, the shame that goes with it. The terrible impulses that come through men sometimes just off the charts in their indiscreet nature, eh? So we got to question even basic beginnings like that. Where's that presence filling the dream? We all have an aspect where it seems to be. Yet it seems like we've been involved in some background skullduggery. You can feel it. There's something askew here in the way that we feel about that deal. Now it seems like it's part of your heart presence, and indeed it must be, because these feelings do indeed come from the heart. But just in the way that we develop our personality here to match the reality around us so we can somehow get through it, Well, the same thing happens there, man. You see, and we just like wind up caught in behaviors that are exaggerated and actually pushed and fomented by the energies around us, some of the media outlets and shit like that, you know. Show me some skin and I'll show you where I've been, you know, and et cetera, you know. We get some real wild stuff going on. But out of that comes a hell of a lot of magic, because men don't really feel that way about women that they express to one another all the time. They're looking for the real deal, just like you are. See, there's our sameness of nature. It's just expressed differently, because we live in the matrix where we can. We can make it seem exaggerated to the extreme so that we're polarized. And then we got to resolve the polarity, you know. See how we create that, the feelings that go with the personality, see. And a lot of them are cultural, but some of them are ancient as we are. And I'm speaking in particular about that great lust that gets so warped and out of shape here. You know, really goes looking for something that ain't there. The dream lives inside warped feelings like that, but you know, there's a real huge filter over that one. So you don't see it clear, you see, so you have to come out of it warped, you know. But you know, as you're driving down the highway and then you take your little break, you start to realize all of that. You know, you start to question your own basic maneuverings in this reality. What is it that really compels you? It's not the lust. The lust is only a part of it. And sometimes it's, like I say, it's pretty delightful. It leads to some real love game. And that's what we all want. We're all looking for the fulfillment of this dream. And somehow we've been routed inside to think that we can fulfill that, you know, genderically by joining with somebody of an opposite gender. Whether you're gay or not, I mean, it's still that polarity's there, you know. The male and female genderization is there. That's just a difference in practice. Again, our feelings get changed. There's a big filter over our heart. But by sometimes allowing a certain amount of this lust in and dancing with it and having a good time with it instead of taking it to some kind of heavy burden or something, we start to find real love. We start to find that there are people out there that are familiar to us and match up to us that maybe sometime we might even share ourselves with in some way. You know, well, we're doing it already. You know what I mean. But again, we got that fixation. Men are always looking for that. For the most part, now I can't speak for every man, thank goodness, but most are conditioned this way. Some in the primitive cultures worse than any. It's amazing how it works, you know. Like, you know, just empty. Got to fulfill yourself. Got to find that dream outside yourself. Not realizing that the real basis of that lust is a feeling of separation from your mother love energies. As a male presence, you know, when you adapt the personality, part of that is putting away the divine feminine, the softer part of your heart, and becoming a little more ruggedy so you can endure the frontier trail you're going to have to travel. You see? And that's where your heart begins to unravel. That's where the tragedy begins, right there. When you have to put your true divine way away and hide it away in your heart. Well, of course, you can only do so much of that. Some beings are so sensitive, they just can't play it. So they turn gay or whatever. They find another way. You know, there's nothing wrong with any of all that. It's just us trying to accommodate ourselves into that presence of the dream. Living through the filters that we live in this so-called reality, this divine matrix, the constructs of which we created and continue to create as we live in. But awakening is questioning even the ultimate push-pull effect inside. What is it that makes us so crazily obsessed with sexuality? Why can't we all just run around naked like little kids and not have to get a stiffy and think we got to go chase each other down and stuff? I mean, you know, what is it that doesn't allow us to just be free and natural and happy about it? See, there's a big division, but in that division we got the revision, baby. Because we've carried the real dream of our heart together. You and I and all of this Vibe Tribe and everybody else, we've kept that thing alive. Sometimes through the most warped expressions of connection. But it's still, we had to feed the dream, had to give it some reality, some substance here in some way or another. And this is such a restricted dang place that it's difficult to do sometimes. To find a sweet, simple love affair is like, wow, that'd be the end, how, wouldn't it? You see, well, that's what's coming to us now, a real sweet, simple love affair, one that fulfills all presences of desire and unifies the heart in perfect love. And it's happening right there inside of you right now. See, as you're taking that little break there and that rest there. You're probably out in Nebraska of all places. Why not? Watch out for tornadoes, baby. And twisting little corn husker girls, man. That gets you in trouble big time. See what I mean? It's always a factor. But it's a factor in the dream. What we're dreaming of is a divine fulfillment. That's what we're looking for in our lust, our craziness. Divine fulfillment. We want to be whole again. We don't feel present. We don't feel alive. And not enough. We got to go get some more. We got to get our lalas taken care of, man, and get our jollies too. But gosh dang, for all we get there, it just doesn't always come through. But oh my God, from that there does develop love. But it takes the lust to get us going there because we feel so opposition to each other. So even though it's conditioning, that's probably designed to keep us enslaved in sexuality forever, it's actually liberation in motion. Because when we realize we really aren't in need of one another, that that fulfillment is us, that the dream that lives inside of us is us, that all we got to do really is respect ourselves enough to let go of the personality we've developed here and begin to be the person that we are, and that's who empowers the dream and all the fulfillment that goes with it. Right here in the matrix, man. Well, of course it dissolves the matrix away. And then, of course, you find your one true love, which is everyone. We can be together in anyone. If there's matching pairs here and matching triads and so forth, babies, they can find each other anywhere and anyone. And you've proven that to yourself again and again and again. You see? It's not about personality. It's about person. It's not about shape and form. It's about harmony. And the love we see in this shape and form, the thing that makes us so alive. See, so we got to let go then of what? We let our love, our simple love, dissolve away. The adult way. See, we become children again in that delightful light of love that still have the dream alive, that have not put it away and moved away from it by developing a personality. So we go through this in steps and stages. It's kind of like backing up. But right here in the moment of now, you don't have to go through time to do it. You exist here now as that person within the dream, the one that carries the dream, etc. And you start to recognize now the unity of that person. That even the personality, though it be a bit superficial in nature, meaning it's created as an adaptable thing, to adapt into the world around you, that doesn't make it real. But it's based on reality, yes. There are elements like that within you, in your real person, yes. So it's a reflection of your person, the same way the creation around you is a reflection of your heart, you see, and what its current state is. And that person alive, that little childlike person, it's grown up with you, but it's been restricted. It's been, hidden there in the weathered old heart, man. Allowed itself to get knocked around a lot by these unusual desires we have for the grand coupling, the matrix of love, the happily ever after, and the divine little cabin on the mountainside, etc. You know what I mean? Sweet little cherubic children, all of that. Shoot, baby. What an illusion. But babies, without having lived through all that, how would we know that? And how would we know a real happy ending until it presents itself through us, until we allow it to be, you see. Move beyond the mystery of personality. Merge with what you are. See, and there's no polarity there. What is that? That's an exuberant love in motion. That's love in motion in everything. That's the larger picture we often talk about. That's the clearing of the filter over the sun, so that you can see clearly in everyone that which is divine. reflecting back to you the divine nature in you too. We are all creator and creation, great spirit of love, emotion. We have the simple love of the deer, and the ability to see and perceive as the deer does too, very clearly from a distance. Therefore, there is no danger in allowing yourself to come back to life, because you see it clear, and you know what's going on here, and you know it's time. The old hen's ripened the egg under her fat little feathers, and now it's time to hatch out. Only we hatch out as ego presences in the divine little babyhood of love that we are. We allow ourselves to see our true person, that which is grand in nature, created of nature, to be the juncture of the heart, the source of creation flowing through you, baby. Each and every one of us uniquely designed that way, and made to inhabit the full presence of our creation in a very contented sort of way. That's what you'll see in the sunlight today as it arises inside of your heart and shines real bright. And by tonight, you'll be so bright it won't be anything but daylight. There won't be a night, man. Why not? Discharge it in the day and let's party and play all the time. What do you say? In clear view of one another, without having to hide behind disguises and restrictions, without having to feel the way we used to feel, but just to be happy to be gathered together with one another and celebrating life. What a beautiful truth in motion, eh? Simplicity. That's where purity is. See, come past the complexities of love. See the simple flow in it. How it's held onto that dream and tried to manifest it again and again and again throughout the ever-present journey of our life. Every place we ever arrived at was our destination for the moment. That's where we thought we might start it. Let's give it a shot here. Let's give it a shot there. Let's give it a shot there. And you did so randomly, but with varying degrees of success. Because look at what that dream's doing now. It's coming back to life in full presence. You can't stop it. You don't want it. You embrace it. You be it. You love it because that's what you are as a person. Ain't that fun, man? Getting out there and getting a tan in that old bright sun this morning, ain't we, baby? Set you free, babies. Grandpa Coyote, the Coyote Medicine Show, here on the Hazy Radio Network. Your ticket to flight into the great daylight. Yeah, you got that right.